I'm just waiting. I sent a text to him. Hopefully he'll jump on.
Can we start?
Thank you. Yes. Yes, actually, we are recording and the Zoom is up and running. And I see Arthur. Hold on. Here, I'll get him on. That'll take care of that. Okay. Arthur's on, I believe. Arthur, you there? I see you. Good. All right. I'm going to start the meeting. It is 7:05 p.m. And let's do roll. Robin?
All right. Oops, hang on. Am I there? Yep, I'm there. Okay, Colby Jensen.
I'm here.
Catherine Hatton is excused. Arthur?
Here.
I'm here. Robin? Nick?
Nick is here. Yep, I'm bringing him on right now.
Excellent. Ren?
I'm here.
Great. Fred? Fred, I'm going to put excused unless he shows up. Matt?
Here.
Thank you. Lee?
We just saw him. I know he's here.
I know he's here.
I know he's here. He can't hide. There he is, up in the right-hand corner.
All right. Susanna Hayes?
Yep.
Paige is excused. Tess?
Here.
Great. Kevin?
Here.
Great. Sean?
Here.
And Jake?
There he is. Hi, Jake.
And we have quorum.
Thank you, Robin. We'll start up with the approval of the board minutes. So motion A, approve the GTLNC October 19th, 2021 general board minutes. Do I have a first?
Robin?
Thanks, Robin. Do I have a second on that?
Ren.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Ren.
man. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a couple of small corrections.
Okay.
What is it, page 5, the Planning and Land Use Committee? The 34-unit condominium project is at 11003 Moore Park Street. And the other, on the housing element, we'll talk about that again tonight, but focus of the planning report is where to locate additional housing in LA. Robin, I can send that to you separately.
That would be great.
Okay, but those are the corrections for that.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
I have one question and one comment. The comment is thank you for the thoroughness of the minutes, Robin, and for including the public safety crime statistics. I think that's an important addition. So thank you. And I would request one correction in on page, let's see, what page is it? Sorry, page 7 in the new business with the designation of the MIG workshop. There's the bullet point makes it look like that is Catherine Hatton's item, but it is Robin Allen's item, referring to the 2 dates that were proposed.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean?
I'm going to have to look it up. Designation shows Catherine, but it was me.
I'll send it to you later.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any other discussion?
I don't see any.
Hearing none, seeing
Seeing
none.
none. Then we'll
We're
bring
going
it.
to take a vote. Catherine is excused. Arthur?
Yes.
Robin, I'm a yes. Nick?
Yes.
Thank you. Ren?
Yes.
Fred is still not here. I'm going to put excused. Matt?
Yes.
Thank you. Lee?
Hi, Lee.
Can you hear me?
We hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna abstain on this one.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Susanna?
Yes.
Paige is excused. Tess?
Yes, with correction.
Thank you. Kevin?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Thank you. And Jake?
Yes.
And Colby?
Yes.
Thank you. So we have
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I see 11 yeses.
8, 9, 10, 11, 0, 1.
Yeah, one abstention. Yeah.
Abstention. Great,
All right, motion passes.
yes.
We'll move into, well, President's welcome. Thank you so much. This is our last general board meeting of, obviously, of the year. We are dark in December, except for select committees. If you would like to have a meeting with your committee, you're certainly welcome to do so. You're not held back by doing so. But this will conclude our general board meeting for the year. And we'll moving on forward to open public forum. 3 minutes. Please raise your hand. Jonathan Gregory. Hi, Jonathan.
Hi, thank you. Was there an opportunity for public discussion on those minutes?
You're welcome to, no, there was not. You're welcome to.
Should there have been?
I'm sorry, go ahead, Jonathan.
Well, should there have been? Because I wanted to use my open forum time separately, but there's something on the minutes that I wanted to point out before you voted.
Okay, well, go ahead. Let us know what it is.
All right, it's not the end of the world, but I read the minutes. There's a sentence in there. It says TYS may not be paid currently. That is not at all what was discussed. That wasn't the understanding of the meeting. If you read the sentence TYS may, that's this, for everyone who doesn't know, that would be the firm or the vendor who wasn't paid for over a year or something. And as a consequence, the website is frozen. It says may not be paid currently. It's either the permissive tense or it's a possibility. That's not what was said. We know they were not paid, and we know that it was said the neighborhood council is obliged, is obligated to pay them. So that wasn't what was said. What was said was that they have not been paid. Why does it say that?
We're still getting to the bottom of that one, Jonathan. We're still.
But these are minutes of what was said in the meeting, and that's not what, I mean, I only know what was said in the meeting because all business is supposed to be transacted right here in front of the stakeholders. And what was said in the meeting, without me repeating it, is that, not what was written in the minutes. What's written in the minutes is making things look pretty. And things don't get better if you don't call a spade a spade. They haven't been paid. That's what should be there. They haven't been paid. Someone needs to assess whether they're ever going to show up for us again, even if they get paid. And we need to know where the money is and what's required to get it dispersed to the vendor. That's what's supposed to be in the minutes. So I don't understand what that sentence is there. My other point is when in that meeting, there is no date for all of the work that I understand Catherine put into that renewable energy letter. There's not a date that surfaces back in the meetings. And so there's no action that we can foresee. It's all that effort she did. Some board members didn't even read it. I mean, it was a pretty lousy experience where she made such an effort, and it shows up on the agenda because Colby decided it should be on the agenda because the bylaws don't support anyone else putting it on the agenda. But then nothing happens. When does that resurface? What's the date on it? It's not actionable. When it just says that Catherine is going to get more answers, but when does it come back for the board to expect it?
Well, Catherine's not here right now to discuss that. She's excused for this evening.
Well, my point is on the minutes, that the minutes, they shouldn't be reading pretty. I mean, not only that, but Rain didn't say it was good to submit. He said it was good enough. That isn't the same thing as good. It was very degrading. And I mean, I didn't say it, but I wouldn't have said it. And maybe it shouldn't be in the minutes, but he didn't say it was good to submit. So I just think minutes should reflect exactly, to the best of one's ability, what's going on, and not make things that aren't pretty. I'm not talking about interpersonal stuff, but I'm talking about the business. There's a lack of success here going on. It needs to be confronted. And you start by confronting it by making your minutes accurate. I would like to have the open forum experience to have some other things I'd like to say.
Thank you, Jonathan. We're going to move on to.
Actually, Colby.
We're actually not doing an open discussion, but okay. I mean,
No, just quick. I'll make it quick. In terms of the letter that Catherine submitted, didn't we all have a vote that we were postponing it? Isn't that what happened?
That's right. That's right. But yeah. And Catherine will get back to us. She is excused at this meeting, and I'm sure she'll get back to us at the next general board meeting.
Right.
All right.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. This is just the public forum part of the meeting right here. So we're going to move on to neighborhood news and announcements. Let me look at our attendees list. And who do we have? I see at the top here, we have Mehmet.
Forgive me, Colby. So
Yeah.
we're skipping public forum. Do I understand correctly? Or are we doing that?
Well, we
after?
did. I didn't see hands up, but now I see hands up. Okay.
Okay.
They weren't hands up a moment ago.
Okay.
Hold on. Jonathan has a hand. Okay. Carrie. Okay. Actually, Carrie is news and city news and announcements. Mehmet is news and announcements. Jonathan, we had you speak. Lee, I'm going to lower your hand just as this is not the right time for board member announcements. So back to, because I don't see any more of the general public, general stakeholders raising their hands who haven't already spoken. So I'm going to move on to neighborhood news and announcements. Again, back to Mehmet. Hi, Mehmet.
Hi. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Great. Hi, Mehmet Berker. I'm field deputy for the Toluca Lake area for Councilmember Nithya Rahman for Council District 4. As always, if anyone needs to reach out to me, my phone number is 818-925-0465. Again, 818-925-0465. And my email is going to be my name at lacity.org. So that's going to be mehmet.berker@lacity.org. Mehmet is MEHMET and Berker is BERKER. Yeah, just a few updates for you all. That we had the south side of Riverside Drive from Coinga to Clyburn. We had trees trimmed last weekend from our supplemental tree trimming that we are paying for. And we're going to be doing the north side this Saturday from Coinga to Clyburn. So we should have Riverside Drive done just in time for the Toluca Lake HOA Turkey Trot, which is, of course, on Sunday at 1:30 p.m. So I don't know if they'll be around to give a plug for it, but I will. The start will be at the Chase Bank at Riverside and Ponca, and there will be a 5K run walk and a 1K fun run. And then there's going to be a kind of a hang afterwards. So it should be a great, good old time down there. So I will be there at a booth. So come say hi. And then other than that, for some short policy updates, just kind of some things that have happened recently. We had a motion passed in committee last week to improve the city's framework for reporting hate crimes. We had a motion passed last week to digitize and consolidate access to all our city department services. So this is part of our work on trying to make the city's digital presence cohesive and easier. And then again, this past week, we also had a resolution passed calling for a transition to 100% zero emission shipping at the Port of Los Angeles by 2030. And so we also had passed our resolution for the city to include in its state and federal legislative program support for legislation or administrative action to help welcome and successfully resettle our new Afghan refugee neighbors to Los Angeles. And the last one was a motion passed in committee to establish a permanent office of procurement within the Office of the City Administrative Office, which should really help with our city contracts, which have so much money going through them. So we are trying to streamline, update, and consolidate that work into one place. So I'm going to just give that for my update and kick it to you, Colby.
Oh, thanks, Mehmet. Any more thoughts on our CD2 transition?
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, so at the moment, thank you for reminding me, at the moment, as drawn, the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council area would be in CD2, which is Paul Krikorian's district. The rest of the process for redistricting is going to be that there's a hearing that is going to be on the 23rd. And let me go back. There it is. So there's a hearing on the 23rd, and then the city council is meeting on December 1st to consider the ordinance. And everything I've been told is that we would expect a vote on December 1st. If that is how it pans out, and Toluca Lake is indeed moved into Council District 2, our work and my work will be to help that transition go along. So the next couple of months would be spent with that, and I would be working to transition folks to CD2's team. So we have a great working relationship with Council District 2 and their staff. So, you know, we'll be hand in glove on that if that is what happens when the ink is dry. So.
Okay, yeah, it's a big transition. And as we spoke about before, it sounds like it's a done deal.
I mean, I would say that as in anything, nothing is final, of course. So if you all have opinions about it, I would encourage you to please, you know, feel free to write to our office, you know, to Council District 2, any kind of us that are kind of the councils involved make the most sense at this juncture. Of course, you can participate in those city council meetings that are coming up, the 23rd and on the 1st. So if you have opinions on the subject, you should please feel free to voice them. But yes, a lot of the substantive stuff has happened, but what I've been told is nothing is impossible, but that a lot of the substantive work has happened. So I think just with all things, you know, it ain't over until a certain lady sings. And if you all have opinions, you should definitely reach out and participate in public comment, or reach out to us to express them. But as it is now, you know, this is how it will be, and our job would be to help that transition move along.
Thanks for that. Ren,
I had a question. It's July 1. That's when the actual changeover occurs?
No, the changeover should happen sooner than that. And my understanding was the calendar year, but I would have to double check on that. But it definitely isn't tied to the fiscal year or anything. It would happen. Okay. It would happen soon after.
Good to know. Thank you.
I see Tess has
no problem, man.
A quick question. Hi, Tess.
Yes, I just wanted to thank Mehmet for coming out to our West Toluca Lake Residents Association neighborhood watch meeting last night, which was very well attended. So thank you, Mehmet. And we hope to keep you, but we'll look forward to working with you in any case. And I wanted to point out too, Colby, I think Jonathan Gregory may have a public comment. So let's not forget that.
Oh, I know. I have a yeah, I know. We have a list of
thank you.
Yes. Yes. Okay, Jonathan. Is this regarding Mehmet Berger?
No, I'm not going to keep Mehmet. I told you I wanted to participate in the open forum. I dedicated that time I spoke toward the minutes. So when Mehmet is finished, please come back to me.
Next up, we have actually Officer Delbar. If you're there, if you need to get going, I can bring you on now, or we can bring you on during public safety, whatever's convenient for you. I know you have a lot to do. I don't see your hand raised, so I'll go on to.
Okay, I'm going to sign off. Thanks.
Oh, bye, Mehmet. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll talk to you soon. I want to talk to you about the transition a little bit more offline.
Sure, No
Thank you.
problem.
Right.
You can call. All right.
I see Officer Delbar raising his hand, so I'll ask him if he wants to talk now. Officer Delbar? Let me unmute him. Where are you? Officer Delbar, do you want to go on now or do you want to wait for public safety?
If I could, I can go on now if that's okay with you guys.
Certainly, go on. Thank you.
Perfect. So we'll do some crime stats and start them off. In robberies, we're seeing about a 48% increase, and these are all year to date. In our assaults, we're seeing a 9% increase. In our grand theft autos, we're seeing only a 2% increase. In our burglaries from motor vehicles, we're seeing about a 38% increase. And in our thefts, we're seeing about a 6% increase. And then obviously, as we've been hearing or seeing lately and trending downward, is our burglaries are an 18% decrease. So that's a huge plus always. As I look towards the map that we sent out earlier, we're still seeing concentrations in the northwest part of our division or northwest part of our area up towards Magnolia and Lancashire. In the greater Duluth area, we are seeing some thefts and some burglary from motor vehicles, which is concerning. On the other side of the freeway, we are seeing a little bit of GTA issues or grand theft autos. So that is concerning. Just as a reminder, as always, that when I did at a meeting yesterday, please lock your cars, hide your stuff, and generally be able to keep all your belongings. Other than that, I'm not seeing any real trends or patterns or any really thing to be alarming other than just a little more vigilance would be very helpful. But I'm open to any questions if I have the time. Colby, up to you.
Okay, I see one from our board member, Susanna Hayes.
Yeah, just a quick question, Delbar, and it's a specific one. I know on the Priuses, they seem to go after the catalytic converters. Is that also the case here in the North Hollywood area?
Yeah, so the two models or makes that we see are the Priuses and the Hondas. Generally, older model Hondas will get those catalytic converters, but the Priuses are also always in danger of it.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, I have a question here from board member Tess Taylor.
Thank you. Thank you, Officer Delbar, for coming out to our resident association meeting. We really appreciate it. Just wanted to give you a shout out and that folks are just so happy to meet you in person. And we appreciate you looking after the residents in this neighborhood. So thank you very much for that. And Colby, I know it may have been inadvertent, but can we bump the public comment over to Jonathan so that he can, I think he has a comment.
Yes, but you had a question. That's why I called.
No, I had a comment, which was only to thank Officer Delbar and thank him for coming to our meeting last night.
Okay, so if we'll release Officer Delbar unless Jonathan has a question for Officer Delbar. If not, we'll go back to Jonathan real quick and then continue on with Neighbor News and announcements. Jonathan.
I recommend you release Officer Delbar.
Thanks, thank you, Officer Delbar. I believe that's it. I was just a little concerned about the robbery versus burglary situation, but I know we discussed that later before. So anyway, thank you for your service, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, we can talk offline about the robbery issue. It's not as bad as it looks.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, back to Jonathan.
Thank you. I don't like to have to fight in order to have the open forum. I try to be as respectful as I can, and I expect some reciprocity from you. I spend a lot of time with this stuff, and as a volunteer, just like yourselves, I expect to be treated equally within the scope of a meeting. In any case, as far as the open forum goes, what I would like to share with you is in this year, 2021, the most significant thing that I hear from our stakeholders in Greater Toluca Lake was the transformation of the right-of-way, the public right-of-ways, back into a public right-of-way. And in plain English, what I mean is there's been a significant cleanup in LA, and the residents are all grateful and all happy that that step was taken. I mean, maybe there are a few who are not happy, but in general, I think there's a momentum of happiness that it looks like streets are becoming streets again. However, the residents, the stakeholders are very concerned, where are these people and what happens next if they come back? So they're not feeling confident. And what I would recommend to you is your job's not done this year. What didn't happen at the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council is I didn't see any statement go out, that directive to the city government on behalf of the stakeholders on how important it is that our public right-of-ways serve as public right-of-ways. People have a right to pass on the sidewalks. In other words, you know what I'm saying without me going any deeper on that. And the people are also very concerned about safety, and they want their laws enforced and prosecutions upheld. And that's requiring a letter from the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council that represents probably around 13,000 constituents. It's a big deal, but it didn't happen. And because it didn't happen, I just don't think your business is done for this year. I also think the bylaw situation has got to be confronted, amended, so that all of the board members have a say in what goes on to the agenda. That's an absolute for the new year, and it shouldn't be delayed. In any case, I thank you very much. I won't prolong this pain for you, but I hope in the future that you'll be very, very polite to all of the stakeholders who come to the meetings. I see neighborhood councils that are just ruthless, flattering each other, but paying no attention to their stakeholders. I don't want to see you become that. I think you are making an effort. I do, by the way, wish you all a very, very happy holiday. This came up so suddenly that we're not having any more meetings this year. I didn't know it, and evidently somebody thinks it's tradition. I didn't know that. It didn't get discussed. But in any case, I hope you all have a very happy holiday. Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan. I see Carrie Negri from the Toluca Lake HOA. Let me get you open to talk. Where are you? I lost you. Oh, sorry, Carrie. There we go. Carrie, you there?
Hi, I'm here. Thank you, Colby. Appreciate
Carrie.
it. Hi. So as Mehmet mentioned, and a quick shout out to Mehmet for all the support that CD4 has put behind our turkey trot, which is sincerely appreciated. And it is this Sunday, and the registration's at 1:30, and then at 2 p.m. is our welcome and warm up. And then 2:15 is our 5K run, and 3 o'clock is our kids run. And then afterwards is going to be our fall festival, which should be a lot of fun for the entire community. And super happy to have all the support for our turkey trot, which benefits North Hollywood PD. And gave a shout out at the luncheon we just had to Curtis and Rob Benavides for everything they do for our community and everything they've done. And that's the most exciting thing happening at the Toluca Lake HOA right now is our turkey trot this Sunday.
It's pretty darn exciting. I'll say that.
It is very exciting. And we've seen just a ton of support from the community, from the businesses, from CD4, from PALS, from the neighborhood council, from even the chamber, of course, and including the chamber. And it's just a great event for everyone in the neighborhood. And I hope to see you all there.
I see 2 hands up from the board. I first saw Robin, so I asked her to speak first, and then Tess. Hi, Robin.
Hi, just Carrie, quick question. Did I misunderstand? The registration is at 1:30, and you said the kids run is at 5 p.m. Did I get that wrong?
Sorry, 3 p.m. No, the 5K is at 2:15, and then the kids run is at 3 o'clock.
Is it 2:15, and the kids is at 3 o'clock?
Yes.
All right, thank you. I thought 5 o'clock is gonna be a little dark.
A little bit dark. Yeah, we like all our kids running in the dark. Not.
I didn't think so. Thank you.
Of course.
I see a hand up from Tess. Hi, Tess.
Hi, Carrie. If you would like us to circulate that in our newsletter, please send me text and graphics and I'll put it out before your run.
Great. I'll get right on that.
Okay.
Well, thanks, Carrie. I don't see any other hands up, but I'll try to get out there too. I haven't run for a while, but I probably should get that.
Well, I'm happy to see you walking, Colby. So
yes, thank you. Okay. I'll see you then. Thanks, Carrie, for all your help.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. I see Gibson. You don't have a hand up, Gibson. I don't know if you want to pop on or not. If not, I'll take Brenda. She has her hand up. Hi, Brenda. I ask you to unmute.
Afternoon, everyone. My name is Brenda Yanes. I am the field deputy for Supervisor Sheila Kuehl out of Havana District Office. It's such a pleasure to be here with all of you this evening. So I'll go ahead and quickly get started with some COVID-19 updates. So as of November 2nd, of course, of this year, 73.1% of individuals have been fully vaccinated statewide. 73.7% in LA County and 66.29% in the San Fernando Valley. And tomorrow I'll be getting an updated percentage of these numbers. So I'll be able to report or send it to the board via email as soon as I have those numbers. At this moment, all COVID-19 vaccines, that includes Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson, are now approved by the FDA and CDC for boosters. And all public health vaccination sites offer first, second, and third and/or booster doses, and no appointment is necessary. If you got Pfizer or Moderna, both doses at least 6 months ago, you are eligible for a booster if you are either 65 and older, 18 and older, and live in a long-term care facility, ages 18 to 64 years, and have underlying medical conditions or at risk of social inequities, 18 to 64 years, and live or work in high-risk settings. And then J&J booster doses are recommended to anyone 18 and over who did receive a Johnson & Johnson dose more than 2 months ago, including immunocompromised individuals. So just notice the difference between Pfizer or Moderna and Johnson & Johnson in terms of how long you have to wait to be able to receive your booster. It's important to note that the Moderna doses do vary. The initial series and the additional third dose are full doses, while the booster dose is a half dose. And then you can go ahead and mix and match now. So you are able to choose which vaccine you receive as a booster dose. But it's also recommended that you talk to your healthcare provider if you do have any questions about the risks and the benefits of a booster or about what vaccine to get as a booster. And then vaccines for children, the FDA and the CDC has approved administering COVID-19 vaccines to children 5 to 11 years old in LA County. And this automatically makes 900,000 children newly eligible for vaccination with pediatric doses of the Pfizer vaccine. And the pediatric doses of the Pfizer vaccine are much smaller than the adult and teen vaccine doses. For instance, it would be 10 versus 30 micrograms of that Pfizer vaccine. But the dosing schedule is still the same for children, teens, and adults. So 2 doses are given 21 days apart. And other than that, if you do have any questions in regards to specifics about the vaccines and the booster doses, third doses, all of that confusing stuff, feel free to connect with me directly, and I'll be more than happy to have an offline conversation with you in regards to that. We do have several events coming up. Most recently, if you're interested in getting your booster dose or first or second dose, we are having a vaccine clinic at the North Hollywood Red Line station this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So feel free to come on by, and we'll be more than happy to help you there. We'll also be at Pacoima Charter this Friday, November 19th from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. So feel free to stop on by there. Other than that, I just want to go ahead and thank all the board members for their hard work and all the constituents that are here attending these meetings. And I just want to go ahead and wish you all a very happy holiday season and the best wishes for the new year. And that's it for me. I see that there's a hand up. More than happy to take that question.
Yes, that's from Ren Blight, and then we have Nick Baker after that.
Brenda, there's a lot of publicity on the federal fund for capital improvement projects. Is there some site where we can go and look and see what the county is going to get and when those projects are going to get started?
In terms of, you mentioned capital improvement, is that correct?
Yeah, the federal government has finally passed $1 trillion bill to do capital improvements all across the country, bridges and, you know, a whole wide range of things. But I was wondering, you know, how much of that and in what form it's going to reach the county of LA.
Yeah, so I could definitely go ahead and find out, and as soon as I have an answer for you in regards to that, I can send that over to the board and then have that get to you, if that's okay.
Great, that'd be great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We have Nick Baker.
Yeah, hi, Brenda. I just was curious if there was any updates on what's going on over at Moore Park and the 101. I know that's probably the biggest trouble spot that we have in our district. And I know there was one guy who was literally attaching a power source to a stakeholder's condo. A, shouldn't that result in an arrest? B, yeah, is there any sort of update on what's going on over there?
I'm trying to see if I can pull something up in regards to Moore Park and the 101. The last time that I was in contact with our liaisons at the Department of Public Works was Friday, October 22nd. And they mentioned to me that the encampments that were located out there when they were out there doing some trash and debris pickup were located on county property, but they were not blocking the right of way. And they did attach some pictures. I'm not sure if I sent that over to you. If I didn't, I'll go ahead and send that over to you tonight.
Yeah, you did. You did. You did.
But if anything, I'm pretty sure that the stances at that location have probably changed. So what I can go ahead and do is follow up with our liaisons there and see if there's anything else that can be done on that end.
Okay, it really the biggest concern I have is for the guy who's literally got his tent attached to the backyard of somebody and he's doing stuff in there, and that's just there's got to be some sort of enforcement for that guy. You can't attach your tent to somebody's property. That's unacceptable. And I can show you the specific thing that I'm talking about, and I need that I really got to get some motion on. I understand the people on the street. I know that I know the spot very well. That there's one particular guy, if he's not been moved, he's got to be moved. He just can't do what he's doing.
Okay, can you send me an email with that info? And I'm pretty sure 100%. You have some pictures as 100%. Well, and then I can go ahead and act upon that, see how we can help in this.
Yeah, I'll get you some stuff tomorrow. I'll make sure to put some stuff together for you. Okay. Thank you, Brent. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. Are those all the questions?
That's a quick question. So is every like eating establishment or coffee shop required to ask proof of vaccination upon entering, or is it just sometimes it seems to be kind of inconsistent?
Yeah. So when it comes to like restaurants within, it gets confusing because then there's county regulations and there's city regulations, and there's some restaurants that are not asking for vaccination cards, and then there's others that are. Mm-hmm. I can send you some specific information in regards to that via email, and then I think that would really clarify your question in terms of who should be asking for them and who shouldn't.
Okay, thank you, Brenda.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
People can one more question, Brenda. People can show proof of negative test, right? They have the option to not get vaccinated and to prove that they are COVID free, correct?
So I think let me pull that up really quick. So under LA County's health officer order at the moment, proof of full vaccination and photo ID is now required for indoor entry into bars, breweries, wineries, distilleries, nightclubs, lounges for all patrons and employees. And that also includes patrons need to be fully vaccinated to be indoors at any of these establishments. So I think that proof of like a negative COVID-19 test was in place before this new public health officer order went into place. But then you also have the city of Los Angeles that has a new vaccine verification program, which I'm pretty sure you've all heard of, which is called the Safe Pass LA, which requires proof of full vaccination as well for entry into the different businesses that I did mention. That also does include like gyms, spas, nail salons, barbershops, movie theaters, shopping malls, and entertainment and recreation venues. And that also includes indoor portions of city facilities such as LA City Hall, senior centers, recreation centers, and service centers. But that's all of the information as of right now. There is no wording in there that says that you can present a negative COVID test to be able to get into these facilities or these small businesses. But again, each business is kind of doing their own thing, because I have gone into some restaurants and they're not asking for vaccination or proof of vaccination. So I guess it really much varies.
Okay, thank you. And you'll send me an email with a little more clarification.
Yeah, I'll send you that information.
It's very confusing, but thank you, Brenda.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
Any questions? Thank you. And I'm looking, if I'm missing someone from community, please raise your hand right now if you have an announcement. I don't see anyone. Gibson, if you like to talk, you're welcome to, or I don't see your hand raised. So I guess we'll move forward to our committee reports. And that will include our DECA committee, which brings us to motion B, which is our YMCA NPG. So motion B, to approve up to $2,000 for the program service fees for the YMCA Leadership Program for teens through the East Valley YMCA's Neighborhood Purpose Grant. Do I have a first?
Robin.
Thanks, Robin. And a second, please.
Arthur.
Thanks, Arthur. Any discussion on this matter? I see Sydney in our attendees. Yes, okay, let me bring up Jonathan. Actually, let me ask Sydney real quick. I think she's part of this.
Hi.
Sydney? Hi,
Yeah.
you're from the YMCA, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, there's be some questions from stakeholders and from the board. So if you'll be here to answer some, that would be great.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, great. I'm gonna if you'd like to, why don't you just go ahead and tell us a little bit about it, and then we'll take questions from stakeholders and our board, and we'll go from there.
I'm also here, Colby.
I didn't see you. I'm sorry, Casey. I didn't see you there. Okay, great.
That's
Even
fair.
better. Okay, we have
Hi,
Casey and Sydney from. You can introduce you. I'll introduce you from the YMCA, and as you probably discern, that they can answer questions about this NPG that they're proposing. So go ahead, Casey and Sydney. Thank you.
Certainly. Hi. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you to the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council. For those of you that I have not met yet, I'm Casey Banks. I'm the executive director at the East Valley Family YMCA. And we also have one of our team delegates with us. Oh, well, Sydney Tweedley is also here with us.
Oh, sorry. Hi.
Yeah, and we're here, like the agenda was saying, we are currently seeking support from the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council by way of helping to fund our leadership program for teenagers. So yeah, I don't know, do you want to just open it up to questions or?
Yeah, maybe just do a quick overview of what it is, and then I'm sure that'll raise some questions, and we'll go from there.
Sure. So through the East Valley YMCA and the Youth in Government program, teenagers have the ability to learn about the ways local and state government work from actually participating in model versions of both. We meet weekly, and through those weekly group meetings, teens in our area here in Toluca Lake and neighborhood and North Hollywood, and also the East Valley in general, they meet once a week and they identify things that they want to improve or address in their community or their state. And then the kind of great part about it is 3 times a year. And we just got back from one, or not got back from one, now they're virtual, but we just had a conference where students from all over California convene to debate on a larger scale things that are happening in their state. And also, we know that at the core of all of this, our teenagers are learning valuable character lessons and learning and growing to prepare for their futures. So again, we have teens from all over the East End San Fernando Valley. And some of our families can afford what we're doing to participate and some cannot. But, we make a promise as the YMCA that no one will be turned away for their inability to pay. And so that's what we're seeking help to be able to stick to today.
Okay, thanks, Casey. I'll open us up to questions from, unless Sydney has something else to add before we go into questions.
Nothing in particular to add, just if I can reinforce the statement, just that I believe that money should not be a limiting factor for this program. It's amazing, and I've made some of my best friends through this program, best memories. I've expanded my knowledge in the political realm through this is my third year in YNG through the YMCA. And yeah, so I hope that these type of incentives can help families join this program.
Great, thanks, Sydney. I see Tess has a hand up. Hi, Tess.
Hi, thank you. So I attended the executive committee meeting where we went into some detail, and I just want to state again that I am a member of the YMCA, and I believe the determination was made that this does not constitute a conflict of interest, and so that I do not have to recuse myself. But if I'm mistaken, perhaps Gibson can say so, but we're going on that assumption, correct, Colby?
That's correct, because this program benefits only teens.
Okay, good.
And so that was my assumption, but Gibson has a stronger word in this than I do, since he's from the city.
All right, so just to make that clear, and I do love the YMCA, and I'm all for this. I did have a couple questions, Casey and Sydney. We talked about the fee for families to participate, which was $200 each, when we talked about how this $2,000 might be broken down. And the board doesn't have to approve the entire amount, although I would certainly encourage that. But since we're not talking about families, since we're talking about individuals and youth, Casey and Sydney, how is this money going to be broken up? Is it going to apply to, will it cover, let's say, 5 scholarships, 10 scholarships on a per person basis rather than a per family basis?
Sure. Well, when we say family, I guess when we're talking about this program, we mean teenager.
Okay.
One individual and the way that their family is just affected with the young person being involved in it. And I guess it's really on an as person and what they need kind of system here. So when family A applies and they say that they need half of their fees covered, then we would pull from this fund to be able to do that. Or maybe a family's only requesting, a fourth of their fees be covered. So really it's going into the general fund that we have to issue financial assistance for the program in general.
Is there a specific cost for the government youth program? Since, I know there's general membership, but what is the cost of the youth program?
So it's separate from the general membership that a person pays to be a part of the facility and use kind of the health benefits. It's, you'd consider it like a satellite program, and it's this year $400 a teenager.
Wow. Okay. So my only other comment, well, not a question, but a comment would be that I think the board should consider, and in fact, Colby, I would like to agendize this for the next general board meeting, that we discuss and update our neighborhood purpose grant applications, because the language currently included states, quote, "I further affirm that if the grant received is not used in accordance with the terms of the application stated here, that the said funds will be returned immediately to the neighborhood council," end quote. So let's just assume that this is going to happen with Casey. I'm sure that it will, but in those cases where the neighborhood purpose grants are not used for the funds, that the funds are not used for the grant purpose that we've given it to them, we need to update that language to put a time frame in to use those funds. And I would also like to see an annual, if not a biannual report or an update as to the disposition of the funds. I would love to hear, assuming this is passed by the board, which students get this scholarship, maybe hear from them personally, or at least from Casey and or Sydney about, how these funds were applied, who received them, and so forth, so that we can see and get the benefit and the, and frankly, the enjoyment of seeing this money put to good use. So can we agendize that for the next meeting, Colby, please?
We can discuss it. Here's, here it is. This is the form that they fill out. The NPG is not a Toluca, Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council form. It's a city form, and we don't write the form. So I don't see, off the top of my head, I don't know how we can change it because, it comes from the city. But I'm welcome to put that on agenda. We can discuss that in between now and our next meeting. Actually, Gibson's on the call now. Maybe he could talk about it after we get through this in new business, because it's a city grant application, not a neighborhood council grant. So application. I see Jonathan in the stakeholders arena.
Yes.
Hi, Jonathan.
My question is to, I think her name is Cindy, the representative from the Y. Is she here?
Sydney, yes, Sydney.
Hi, yeah.
Cindy, here's my question, but I'll preface it. First of all, I think the Y is one of the perfect recipients for the Neighborhood Purpose Grant, because it's something that all the demographics of the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council can participate in. It's available to everyone, old, young, in school, retired, everything. It's so perfect. Here's my question though, is when monies are given to people and they really don't know if it's a gift or an entitlement, I kind of think that might be damaging. So my question to you is there a possibility that people who receive this money can be invited to send to the board and to the people of Greater Toluca Lake a thank you for what they've received as a gift? That way, both the neighborhood council can evaluate the appreciation factor of the program and maybe repeat it in the future, or recognize it isn't appreciated and not do it again. But also the recipient has, whether it be the parent or the child, the youth itself, can understand that it is a gift that they got. That's my first question. My second question before I let go is just simply, do you think it might be possible for the Y to offer, if we were to propose an MPG,
yes,
to support a little program where we're having some trouble with a lot of our elderly stakeholders who can't use Zoom, and maybe there could be like a 30-minute or 1-hour training that might make a neighborhood purpose grant, if you could do a class of that sort in your gymnasium there or something. I'm just wondering if you could answer those two questions for me.
Jonathan, actually, I think it would be more appropriate. Hi, this is Casey, the Y staff. I think it would be more appropriate if I answered that. I'm not sure if I was unclear at the beginning, but Sydney's one of the teenage participants in the program.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. For the first part of your question, usually what we do, because there is a bit of a privacy that we keep with who receives funding by way of financial assistance. So when we do thank you letters or appreciations, it would come from all of the students, or even, it would just be students that were grateful that we were able to give this. And certainly we could even ask some of our students that we know who are on financial assistance, and probably their letters historically are more personalized with what they know they're receiving, but we don't ever target them for things like this, only because we try to keep it private. I hope you would understand that part.
Sure.
And then to the other part about being able to have forums with, I'm envisioning maybe young people helping our seniors to be able to bridge that digital divide. So I think there's certainly something there that I would love to explore.
Thank you.
I see Ren, and then I saw Robin. Hi, Ren. Unmute.
Like Tess, I'm a member of the YMCA there. Even though we moved downtown, we're still members out there in Toluca Lake. And our son went through the program. I mean, been 10 years or so, but anyway, he got a lot of benefit from it. The other thing I just want to say in terms of identifying which students get which funding, there are a number of other organizations that support the program. The $400 is only a fraction of what it actually costs to send a student up to Sacramento. So there's a number of organizations and ways of financing all that come into play. I suppose if you wanted, Casey could identify specifically who got some of our money, but in the broader sense, the budget is, you get public support and you get private support and you get the students, some of whom can pay full freight, and it all kind of works out. So anyway, I wouldn't necessarily expect, let me put it this way, I would like to see maybe a letter thank you coming back from the participants in general and what their experience was, but to call out any particular participant and say, you got some of the city's, some of the GTLNC money. I'm not sure that's the way we want to go.
Thanks, Ren. I see Robin.
Yes. Thank you, Casey and Sydney, for coming tonight. And I just want to say that I fully support the YMCA and this program and what it does to help teens. I do feel that we should support this. I don't feel that maybe nothing more than just a general thank you would be enough. I mean, we don't need specific people to thank us. We do this out of the kindness of our hearts. It's for the city and for our community. And when you are requesting money for financial aid, it is embarrassing and uncomfortable. And I don't think that anybody should ever be called out for having to do that. So I support this, and I think it's wonderful that you're here tonight, and thank you.
Thanks, Robin. I see Susanna Hayes.
Well, I'm pretty much gonna say the same as Robin and Ren. My son also went through the youth and government program and benefited tremendously from it. They learned so much, speaking and negotiating, politics, and there is a number of kids who can't afford, and I do agree that this is a privacy issue, and the funding that we are providing, I mean, I would love to do that, and we should. But again, as Ren mentioned, it is, there's a lot of other monies coming from other organizations, and it is costly to send these kids to Sacramento when it will be possible for them to do so again. But I fully support Casey and Sydney. This is a wonderful program.
And I do see here in the NPG application, it does say, this is written by Casey, quote, at the $2,000 support level, we would include the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council's name on the recognition wall located in the YMCA lobby. That's a nice piece of recognition right there. And I think it's my opinion, it's a worthwhile cause, definitely. I don't see any other hands up or any other comments. So I think we're ready to bring this to a vote. Robin, you're muted.
All right. Yep. Motion B, to approve up to $2,000 for program service fees for the YMCA Leadership Program for teens through the East Valley YMCA's Neighborhood Purpose Grant. Catherine is not here. Arthur?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Nick?
Yes.
Thank you, Nick. Ren?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Thank you, Matt. Lee?
I'd say if I could vote, yes, but I'm going to abstain.
Okay, thank you. Susanna?
Yes.
Paige is excused. Tess?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Sean?
Sean?
Yes, sorry, I thought it was, I didn't
Thank
realize it was
you.
on mute. Yes.
Jake is ineligible. Colby?
Yes, from me.
Great. So let me count. I have 4 yeses. Colby, Arthur, Robin, Nick, Ren, Matt, Susanna, Tess, Kevin, Sean. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 yeses, 1 abstain and 1 ineligible. So that is 10-0-2. Motion carries.
Very good. Thank you, Casey and Sydney. Thank you so much.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Can I just jump in here with a general community announcement too for any stakeholders that are on? I would have done it during the community part, but I didn't want to interrupt. I just want to make sure that any stakeholders or board members who are on know that the Y is actually a site where you can be tested for COVID-19 regularly through Monday through Friday, 9 to 3, and it's free. And also we have COVID-19 vaccinations, again, only on Mondays right now from 9 to 2, also free.
Thanks, Casey.
And
It's
thank you all.
Very valuable information. I appreciate that. And
Have a great evening all.
Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. And moving on, still in executive committee reports in relation to what we just did, budget allocation, which is what I mean by that is, I think it's a great idea to, and Tess, actually, you brought this up in the last meeting, for us to reach out to our stakeholders and our community at large and look for opportunities like we have with the YMCA. I think NPGs are a great way for us to serve our community because it allows us to target or allows people to come to us with their needs. And it's a very efficient way of supporting our community. Any discussion on that thought? Tess, that was a great idea.
Thank you.
And if we want to form kind of ad hoc or some kind of structured committee, I'm not sure. But my initial reaction is just to put that in the front of your minds when you see an organization like the YMCA, to think how we can serve them by, or maybe reach out and ask them what they need, and they can then submit an MPG. It's a very good way, I think, of doing this. Since we're not doing an Earth Day event this year, probably, and other things like that, we have a little extra money to push forward into.
Well, I think an announcement in the newsletter, maybe even a running announcement or every other newsletter. Did you know this is available? Do you qualify? Here's the profile of what we're looking for. And then, when we as a board discuss what our priorities are, we can make those determinations accordingly. So an announcement in the newsletter, I think, would be a good idea.
Right, absolutely. Just get the word out. We only have really 6 months left or less than that until our fiscal year is over. And we're halfway through this administration. And I want to receive more NPGs. So, okay. We are dark in December. At least there's general board meetings. Again, if you have a committee and you really want to meet, please go right ahead. Anything else from the exec committee while we're here? Okay. All right. Move on to treasurer's report with Arthur.
Okay. You could just.
You want to screen share? Let me get you.
Yes, screen share.
Okay, your co-host.
Fantastic.
And just make sure you read the motion first.
Okay, I'll do that first then. We have motion C, approve the October 2021 MER and expenditures for reconciliation submission to the city clerk. Do we have a first?
Robin.
A second?
Ren.
Thank you,
Okay.
Ren.
So we had finished September with $29,598. We had operating costs of $116, which include Google for 90 and then MailChimp for 26. And then we had a couple Apple One invoices processed, totaling $1,375, resulting us with having an October balance of $28,106. since I'll also give an update on TYS. I have talked to the city clerk. The city clerk would like a service agreement with TYS, which is similar to the service agreement that they signed when they first kind of came on board. It's going to require a lot of the same documents that they submitted for that service agreement, insurance, tax documentation. So we're working through that. And then once that service agreement is signed, everything should be good to go. So do we have any questions or comments on the MER?
Let's see. I don't see any hands up.
Okay.
All right, I'll take roll. I'm going to start, Will. Catherine is excused. Arthur?
Yes.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let me read it again. Motion C, to approve the October 2021 MER and expenditures for reconciliation submission to the city clerk. Catherine is excused. Arthur?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Nick?
Yes.
Thank you. Ren?
Yes.
Fred is excused. Matt?
Yes.
Lee?
Abstain.
Thank you. Susanna?
Yes.
And Paige is excused. Tess?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
And Jake is ineligible because it's a funding matter. So
And
motion.
I'm a yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Colby.
I'm a yes. Yes.
Yes. Motion carries 10-0-2. All right, planning and land.
Great. Plan leaders. Yes. Hi, Ren. Oh, you have to unmute.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Sorry. Okay, planning committee. We discussed the Sherman Oaks, Studio City, Toluca Lake, Cahuenga Pass community plan just a bit. The planners have evidently completed their draft of our plan, but it's gone back into the planning department for review and approval. And so they're not going to be able to make it public and come out and present it until sometime in the spring. I'm hoping February at this point, but we'll see. So it's one of those things, stay tuned. We'll, in the meantime, we'll keep this on our agenda, but just, keep moving over it until they get out here and start talking about it. Second item, condominium project 11003, Moore Park Street at Vineland. It's a proposal to do 31 condominium units. It's on an old gas station site. So there's some environmental issues we need to make sure are taken care of. And a number of other issues that we talked about at our meeting with the developer, actually his representative. We're going to invite them back in another month or two, get answers to some of our questions and see how it's progressing. But we wanted to make sure everybody's aware that this project is in the works. And if people have particular issues or concerns, that they get to us at the committee so we can get answers for them. The housing element of the general plan is going through city council. It'll probably be approved in the next few weeks, probably. And basically, it's the one word description. It's housing. It's all about how to get more housing into the city. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of additional units over the next 8 years. What the housing should look like and all of that, how to make it affordable. There are a number of issues there that are in the plan. I recommend anybody who's interested in these issues to read the plan. It's pretty much finished, but if you have something glaring that you want to, get to Mamet about and tell him, they've got to change it with this or that, at the full city council. There's a lot of debate and discussion on these things. So it is possible, even at this late date, to change something if there's something that someone feels strongly about.
Welcome to New York. We don't want that. I speak for the community. Thank you.
Okay. The final thing, we ran into a snag in terms of creating a set of guidelines for developers. One of our members of the committee had proposed that we create guidelines for developers that describe the kinds of things we're looking for to be developed in Toluca Lake and the kinds of things that we're looking not to be developed in Toluca Lake, or components of projects that we have a problem with. So a number of communities already have those neighborhood councils. So I have some ideas now about how to do that without violating the Brown Act. So you'll hear from us on that probably again February. That's it. Any questions, comments?
Just want to say that the people don't want any high rises. They want single family, one stories. I speak for the community, and the developer take greed. I mean, it's greed. We're getting screwed because of the developer and the politicians. We need new politicians. Mayor, the councilman. Thank you.
Totally disagree. We need to build a lot.
That's going the wrong direction. We don't want another New York.
Okay, that's fine. I don't want to debate it, but you don't speak for the community, Lee. You speak for you speak for some people, but you don't speak for all of them.
All right, we're just going to hold this to constructive comments. It's not a debate right now. So anyone from the stakeholders want to comment on this? Okay, I don't see any hands up. I guess we'll move on to public safety. That's Robin and I. And we had Louise Olenart. I'd say he's an expert in homelessness at least in Studio City and I'd say in the Valley. And Nick, you can actually talk about this a lot more than I can. You might want to chime in. He came and gave a great presentation, which I have here, and it's basically he went through and he told us how he went through, and essentially there's a patchwork of jurisdiction in our area, and it's jurisdiction between the city, between the state, between LAPD, between the river and the banks of the river, and there's a different governing body for each piece of this quilt that needs to be contacted to help with the homeless issue in every area, and Luis was a wealth of information. And I want to bring him back on. And Nick has spoken with him also offline, and he was very, very helpful with the underpass situation and all the other situations we've been dealing with the last few years. So that was that. Officer Delbar came on earlier, of course, but he always encourages us to lock our vehicles to hide our valuables, because someone will, as you know, will smash a window just to steal a $5 pencil or something like that. It's ridiculous. I have this issue with, there's a stoplight. I don't know if anyone else has this issue at the intersection of Cahuenga and Lancashire. It's kind of near Cata Soleil, right in front of Cata Soleil, as you are driving into the valley. And it's a sharp right-hand turn that for about 25 years or 24 years was always green, because it's essentially a pedestrian light. And it was never on a timer. And now it's on a timer and will turn red even if there's not a pedestrian there and there's absolutely no vehicular traffic at the intersection. And I don't really know how to be honest with you, I don't know how to deal with something like that. Is that Caltrans? They reached out to the board. Everyone else, is that Caltrans or who would?
Where is it?
It's at the corner of right where there's a Y, essentially the Cahuenga and Lancashire, right in front of Cata Soleil, right near Cata Soleil on Cahuenga. If you're familiar with that, as you're driving into the valley, Universal Studios, and there's a light there. Maybe people not have even noticed it, and I've been driving down that road for 20 years plus, and the past few months, once in a while it's red. You have to slam on your brakes, and someone almost hits you from behind, and there's no reason to do that because there's no vehicular traffic. It's not a vehicular light. It's actually for
I'm pretty sure lights are city, and Mehmet is
Right.
the person.
Yeah.
to
Okay.
Contact.
Or
I know he got.
Caltrans. It could be Caltrans. I'm pretty sure.
No, it's well, because I literally had lunch with Mehmet, and then he looked at the Moore Park and Vineland light that's been wrong for 10 years since I've lived here. When you make a left, there's no left arrow, and he like, oh my God, there should be a left arrow there. I was like, yeah, you're right. I really wish you'd do something about that, and he did it. So Mehmet was the guy. So at least that was my experience with that. So
okay, I'll talk to him. I think it's quite dangerous.
I agree with you.
Unnecessary.
I don't like, if we could do something about the light at Whipple and Vineland that goes off for 30 seconds for absolutely no reason all the time, instead of just from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and then from 3 to, we could do we talk about this for days.
I know. I just want to know who to talk to. Thank you for
right, it's Mehmet. It's Mehmet, I think.
Cool,
Sure.
cool. I see a hand up from stakeholders, Kathy. Hi, Kathy.
Hi. Since you're talking about lights, I don't know if any of you have found this to be true, but if you're driving south on Foreman and you get to Camarillo, and you patiently wait and you watch the don't walk sign go, and then the numbers 10, 9, the seconds are counted off. Hey, my light's going to change. So it can go green for me. It doesn't turn green. I discovered that happened to me numerous times.
So that's Camarillo and Foreman. Let me see. Okay, I like this. I'd like to get a bunch of concerns about lights and approach it at one time. That would be nice.
And that's why I'm mentioning it. I appreciate it, Colby. It's pretty crazy because you're thinking, okay, great. It's going to go down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you'll get I'm talking about the east-west traffic on the light go on Camarillo while you're waiting at Foreman to go to cross Camarillo to driving south.
Driving south down.
Okay. You're going, and it doesn't change. It just stays. Then it stays red. It goes from. It literally will change. The yellow will come on, and then it'll go red again. And I'm going, wait, what happened to my green light? I didn't get my green light.
That's frustrating.
It's very strange.
Very strange. All right, thanks, Kathy. I'll write that on my list here for Mehmet. And I see that. Oh, Susanna.
Yeah, so I experienced a couple of times, and I don't know if they have the right to do so, but maybe we need to put a sign up. But this is Moore Park Way when you turn right to Riverside, or you can turn left and go up Ledge. And I seen cars on Moore Park Way, it's red light, and there's no cars. And then they go across and continue on Riverside Drive. I think there should almost be a no right turn. Sorry, my cat is.
So are they heading north? Are they north on Moore Park Way? I mean, are they heading north on Moore Park Way?
They're heading towards Burbank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I see what you mean. They're taking a right on red where they shouldn't be taking a right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But but the ledge goes across.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I don't know what they could do with that unless you have just more patrol.
Maybe just a sign or something.
Okay. No, right. Yeah, something like that. Okay. I see. Okay. Thanks, Susanna. All right. I don't see any other comments on public safety, so we'll move on to
real quick. For all of those traffic light things, you can use my 311, LA's way to report things, and they do stuff. I mean, there was a pothole at the corner of Whipple and Lancashire that was there for a hot minute, and I put it in, and it got fixed in a day. So those light things, you can go. I would. They sound sort of complicated, so maybe Mehmet is the best way to go. But in the future, for stakeholders, they can go to my 311. If you get the app on your phone, it's a great way to just deal with potholes and things around the community, and it's just a great way we can all get involved.
It's true. I used my 311 twice in the past 2 weeks. There were 2 pieces of graffiti near my office at the corner of Foreman and Riverside. Two separate pieces of graffiti, and they removed them within, I'd say, 48 hours. Each one was gone. It was very efficient. They have a great little app. You snap a picture of the situation or the problem, a little description, and it's a great system. I'm very pleased with that. I see Freda Berry has joined us. Okay.
And I also want to, I don't know if you touched on this, but public safety will be dark in December. And just as a clarification for Jonathan, I think he's still on. The neighborhood council for the last, I'm going to say 20, 25 years has been dark in July and December. Now it's obviously if you feel your committee wants to meet, that's up to you. But over the last 20 years or so, we have been dark in July and December.
With the exception, actually, Robin, of this year when almost every committee met in July because we were
But
freshly.
that was the decision of the board.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I just want to point out that, yeah, I mean, the reason we're taking off in December is because we actually really didn't take off in July. And so that does have something to do with it. So.
All right, thanks, Robin. We'll move on to outreach and elections, which brings us to Nick, I think, right? Outreach.
Yeah. The only thing I have to say is just waiting to get this budgetary stuff figured out. I think we have, from my understanding of just the billing situation, I think things are really have calmed down with our spends, and I think in January I'm excited to get everybody back. I hope Paige can join us again, and I can get another person or two on the committee so I can have co-chairs and we can really do some stuff. But I think we're going to have to reallocate our budget and re-bring it in front of the board. I think it's going to be a great process, and I'm excited to do it. And that's pretty much where we're at. And then hopefully, we get this TYS thing figured out, and we can actually make all of those edits because we have a ton of edits to make to the website in the first place. So,
Nick, did you say you are having a meeting in December? Because you were going to let me know the next day.
Yeah, I don't see the TYS thing getting resolved. So if it gets resolved, then yeah, I'll let you know a week before, but I somehow doubt it because I can't do anything until TYS does something. So
yeah,
it's sort of frustrating, but
okay, so you will be dark in December because I have.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Unless I tell you otherwise, yeah, we're going to say that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Nick.
Mhm.
Moving on to, well, actually, Catherine is excused for environmental affairs. So we'll move on to government affairs, which is Tess, co-chair.
Well, actually, if I could go back to Nick and outreach for a moment.
Yes.
And this is a question for Nick/Arthur, because there was a suggestion from Arthur that we might be able to increase our neighborhood council budget because of an infusion of federal funding. So I would like to know, maybe I don't know if it's ready to be discussed or what Arthur may be able to share with us on that point, number one. And number two, in case I missed it, is there an ETA, Arthur, with respect to the resolution of this TYS situation so that we can drag our website out of this moratorium? So outreach/money questions.
So one for the TYS stuff, I'll keep you posted on where that is and as we're moving along through it.
Okay.
And then the first thing that Tess had alluded to, due to COVID, our budget was slashed from $42,000 a year to $32,000 a year. It's a $10,000 decrease. And so I was talking to Mehmet, and I know that the city had received federal funds at the beginning of the year, an infusion of federal funds, and wanted him to kind of see what he could do to, and then what I should do to kind of talk to people to get our $10,000 back. I'm afraid that, once the neighborhood councils have been used to $32,000, they'll just kind of leave it at that funding level. So behind the scenes, I'm trying to restore our budget back to what it once was. I don't have an ETA for that, but I'm having conversations.
Okay, excellent. Lobby hard, Arthur. Thank you. Okay, so unless there are any other questions for Nick, I'll go to the update on Government Affairs Committee.
Sounds good.
All right, seeing and hearing no objection. So We had a vigorous discussion at our Government Affairs Committee meeting earlier this month. We are going through some of the updates and drafting concepts for proposed amendments to the GTLNC bylaws. We've gotten through about half of the bylaws, and the most vigorous discussion occurred on quorum and a possible change in the number of quorum from the current 9 to 8 or 10. We've also, it's noted that official actions, abstentions will no longer count as yes votes. This has been approved by Department of Neighborhood Empowerment. There was a great deal of discussion on the point of absences. There's a general feeling that we're elected, so a higher bar of performance is expected from us, and council members who don't attend meetings are doing a disservice to the council and to the stakeholders. So we're discussing how absences will be treated, and those were the points with the most robust discussion. So I do want to encourage people to check that out on YouTube, to the recording. We are going to meet in December on Tuesday, December 7th at 6:30 p.m. And with luck, we will be able to finish up our discussion and review of the bylaws and be able to present a proposal of amendments to the board in January. That's our optimistic outlook. And with respect to other items, Mehmet earlier gave us a pretty good update on what's happening with the redistricting. It looks very likely that we will be in CD2, although that is not 100% yet. There are a few more meetings coming up. There's a rules committee meeting on Saturday, November 21st, and then again on the 28th. And then the council approval of maps on November 28th. So we should know what's going on in December. And I think that's about it, but we certainly encourage people to attend. The bylaws are the most important document that governs the decisions and actions of this board. And we welcome your input and your thoughts. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thanks, Tess. Any comments or thoughts from the stakeholders? Okay, we'll move on to new business. Any new business? The only thing we have here is commendations or recommendations to local businesses regarding outreach. I believe it was our last general board meeting, or it might have been our exec meeting. I think it was a stakeholder who had the idea to approach businesses in the area with kind of like a letter, maybe a business. Let's say if a business wasn't maintaining their storefront very nicely, and it was sort of a letter. It would be a letter from us, encouraging them to maybe clean up their storefront or whatever. I think it seems like a good idea at first, but then I thought, well, maybe we could also do commendations. If instead of just being kind of negative, we could also, look at businesses that are doing a great job. And I can think of a few right now off the top of my head that are really taking a stance and really being a value add to the beautification and strength of our community. However, I'm not sure about the legal logistics of doing this, because it might infringe. It might be a legal problem if we begin to essentially sanction certain businesses or recommend, or I don't know. It might create a mess. So I learned that after I put this on the agenda. So as we discuss this, if you want to discuss it, I want you to know that we really can't, as a government entity, I don't believe we can recommend or commend or essentially commend certain businesses, private enterprises, because it looked like an endorsement using the public power. I see a hand up from Ren.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we probably are precluded from roses and lemons. The Downtown Business Association goes through a big process, and they hand out 4 or 5 roses to the projects or businesses that they think are commendable, and then they hand out lemons to the ones who've done some obviously problematic things. But it's a private organization of downtown business people. I don't think we could do that.
Yeah, I believe so. I think that's the case. But I want to thank the stakeholder for coming up with new and fresh ideas with that. Any other new business? I don't see any comments. So I'll say our next meeting is January 18th, 2022 at 7 p.m. via Zoom. I wish you a happy holiday and a wonderful new year. And unless you're going to meet in committee, you're welcome to. That's our next general board meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a good